On my most recent trip to Toronto, I decided to visit a very interesting photo lab on Bloor Street West near the University of Toronto called Annex Photo Concept by Fujifilm. Now, it's a collaboration between Fujifilm Canada and the Annex, where Fujifilm could showcase many of their products and services at the retail level. And I was really interested to see how this concept worked in a living, breathing retail space, since photo labs are a thing of the past, aren't they? But as soon as I walked in, I knew that this place was happening. It was consistently busy as soon as I walked in and the entire time that I was there filming. I also had the privilege to have Florence Powell, formerly an intern at Fujifilm Canada and now working with the Annex, to take me on a tour of the entire store, including the fully functioning photo lab in the back. And I was able to talk not only with the staff, but as well as the store manager, Renata, who happens to also be a huge film photography enthusiast. No surprise there. Now, before we begin this video, I wanted to mention that I actually did vlog the entire visit, including an intro and outro, but my audio cut out right when I walked in. Fail. Luckily, I used an external audio recorder for all of my interviews, so I'm grateful for that. The rest of it I'll have to narrate, so I do apologize in advance. So let's begin with my very first interview, special guest from Fujifilm HQ, Helen Hader.
Hi, my name is Helen Hader and I'm the brand manager for Instax cameras and shutter printers at Fujifilm Canada. I've known Take for a few years now. I used to handle all of the media relations and I met him online and got in touch with him, brought him into our media pool, and he's been a great ambassador for Fujifilm over the years. Gets to try out all the new tech, has all of our cameras. He's been a good person to work with over the years. So what bugs me about Take? He doesn't return cameras all that often, but at least I always know where they are. And he's always been good about passing them off when somebody else needs them. What else bugs me about Take? He still does some work for our competitors, which is unfortunate, but I guess I have to expect that. Recently, my role had changed at Fujifilm. I used to work with both digital and Instax cameras. Now I've made the move to instant cameras, which I like. Instant cameras are a lot of fun. My role is still working with PR and events and media like Take. It's also a photography format that is a bit of a surprise, because when you're shooting instant film, you don't get to see what you're going to get before you get it. So every time you take a picture, you're having an experience because you don't really know what to expect. I like to see it when people use Instax for art photography, because it shows that Instax is really an art form when it comes to photography. A lot of people say, well, it doesn't have the settings. I think it's more of a challenge for photographers to take a really good instant picture, because they don't have as much control. So they basically have to create their own controls to make something that's truly unique and original. I've been with Fujifilm for 7 years now, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a company that really, really loves photography. And I know there are a lot of camera companies out there and people have affiliations with different ones, but I find at Fujifilm that people love photography as opposed to cameras, which sounds odd, but they build cameras because that's what they appreciate, is the photography side of it. Also, Fujifilm, one of the things that I really like about Fujifilm is they listen to their customers. So if we bring out a camera and there's a problem, or if there's something they like or dislike, our factory will actually listen to them, and you'll actually see in the evolution of Fujifilm cameras that cameras will have a new feature because a photographer said they really, really wanted it. And you see that in the development of all the cameras, whether it's Instax or whether it's one of our X-series cameras. We're here at the Annex photo store. It's concept by Fujifilm. It's in downtown Toronto in an Annex neighborhood, which is a beautiful neighborhood. Noisy at the moment, I'm sure you can tell. Right now, the store is full, and it's very common for that to happen. The Wonder Photoshop is a series of stores that was, it's a concept by Fujifilm. In other countries, it's called Wonder Photoshop. When we were looking to bring that to Canada, we were having some I don't know, difficulties trying to figure out where we fit in. Like where would these people go who are interested in putting their memories on paper and bringing them to their homes. So we chose this neighborhood because the people in this neighborhood are more, like there's more of an artsy crowd, there's a little bit of a hipster vibe, and they like physical products. The Annex store was developed based on the Wonder Photoshop concept. So we have a Wonder Photoshop in New York City, and we built that. It opened 1 month before this one in Toronto. This was the first hybrid Wonder Photoshop store. It's a really great place if you're creative. It lets you explore your creativity, put your pictures into prints. You can develop film, you can buy film, so it's really great for people who are looking for that. But you can also buy the full-on Instax cameras. You can make prints right from your phone. It's a really good space to sort of make new things, but it is also a space where Fujifilm brings new products to see what consumers think of them. So we do a little bit of research into our markets. So you can sometimes see a lot of unique things in this store that you wouldn't see in other places. I'm Helen Hader, and the camera I shoot with is the new SQ6 Instax camera from Fujifilm, which is a beautiful camera, and it has a beautiful picture that comes out of it.
Just like come here and like clap, just like pa. Yay!
Twice, please.
Twice. Yay! Thanks, Ed. All right. So my name is Florence Powell. I used to work at Fujifilm for a year, and now that I'm graduated, I'm working at the Annex photo store in downtown Toronto. So the Annex photo store, to me, is a place where you can get a lot of prints done and really get that creativity going. It's somewhere that I feel like is very special because there's not a lot of places you can get film processing done. You can get Instax cameras, film, just a whole bunch of photo gifts, and I don't know, it's a really creative space. Okay, so I like to take pictures because I really like to capture the moment, or at least try to capture the moment. Whenever I see someone laughing or smiling, I kind of be the little stalker there taking the photo. And another reason why I like photography so much is especially when I print photos and I give them to my family or my friends, kind of seeing them have that physical copy and look at it and be like surprised that they can actually feel and touch it. That's something that's really exciting for me. So the main camera that I have is the X100F. I got that from Fujifilm, but I also have a Minolta 7S, which I enjoy. Well, I started taking film photography, so that's been really interesting. And for my Instax cameras, I have a whole bunch of them. My favorites are the printers. I have both the SP3 and the SP2, but I also have the Mini 9, the Mini 90, the SQ10, and I just got the SQ6 today, so yeah. So I met Take at Fujifilm. Actually, I hadn't met him in person yet, but the reason why I took notice of him was I realized that I had seen his name so many times, and I kept asking Helen, why does Take still have a camera? Shouldn't he be giving them back? And then I realized after a while that he does use Fujifilm a lot, and through that, I ended up meeting him in Hong Kong. So we went around Hong Kong for a while. We saw him in camera and a whole bunch of other places, and that's how I met Take.
She's my contact person. She's the one that sends me all the cool gear. And because she works in Toronto, I've never met her in person. So it's the first time we've ever met is in Hong Kong. And I left an SD card in the SQ10, so she brought it for me, so thank you. And also she gave me a whole bunch of swag, which I'm trying to give away, but nobody seems to want it. And Joseph, no, you should have bought more next time.
My favorite Instax product is the SP3. It's a printer that you can connect to your phone or even to your Fujifilm camera and have it print directly from the top with the square format.
Hi, my name is Kirk Robinson. I work at Annex Photo, concept by Fujifilm. I work in the lab mostly, but I also talk to customers and I handle a lot of our sales. I started becoming a photographer when I was in high school just because I love documenting stuff and the people around me and all of my friends. I really got into film photography when I went into university, studied at Ryerson, and I just fell in love with the medium and everything. It's very important to me, so I felt like I should try to promote and do what I can. So anybody that comes in to talk about it, I love to talk about cameras and film and taking pictures. Simple as that. So my favorite film camera, hands down, gonna be Leica M6. Just picked it up, got it with a nice 50mm Summicron. My favorite film stock is either gonna have to be black and white, HP5, hands down, and color is probably gonna be a slide film. I would have to say Fuji Provia is gonna be my choice for slide film. My best photo experience was definitely when I was traveling around in Germany. I had a lot of fun photographing and just really enjoyed seeing the different buildings and the different culture, and just being able to photograph it really meant a lot to me, and I feel like I like to look at those photos a lot of the time.
Hi, my name is Renata Hamilton and I'm the manager here at Annex Photo. I've been working here since I was a teenager. So my father, Tom Hamilton, is the owner. He bought this store about 20 years ago, and I really wanted to work here. He used to be a photographer, and when I was young, I would play with his cameras. He'd let me shoot with his Nikon. It was always a lot of fun to me, and I wanted to learn more about photography. But he didn't want to hire me, so I begged him every week for many weeks, and finally he let me try. And over the years, I was given the opportunity to work here and to grow the services that we offer, and now you see we are today. So my favorite camera is actually my favorite printer, which would be our Frontier. It is a wet lab. This is a brand new Frontier. We just got it 2 years ago. It is lightning fast. It prints digital files up to 12 by 18 inches beautifully, and it also prints film, and it's just a lot of fun to have in the store.
So what's up with these rolls?
Okay, so as you can see, these rolls are not the perfectly exposed film that maybe we were used to seeing when we were younger, but these are we used to get professional photos all the time. Every roll looked wonderful. We were excited to print it. Now a lot of what we get is this, which is young people usually experimenting on using film. And so this is usually how their rolls start off, but hopefully they end up having a full roll looking just like this.
Nice, thank you for that story. So that's it. That was my time hanging out at the Annex concept by Fujifilm. Thank you so much, Fujifilm Canada. Thank you, Helen, for coming down and talking with me and explaining what this concept is about. And as well, thank you, Renata, for letting me spend the afternoon with you and your staff, watching you work in the back, as well as engaging with customers and staff and really seeing this film analog culture in person. So if you're in the Toronto area, make your way down to the Annex, a concept by Fujifilm on Bloor Street West. And hopefully Fujifilm will decide to take this concept across Canada to Vancouver and perhaps do so globally as well. I think that'll be a fantastic project to look forward to. So thanks again for watching this video, and we'll see you again next time. Quick shout out to Milos the Cookie Guy, aka Mad Villain, who gave me a box of cookies, homemade cookies, to drop off at the Annex for everyone to enjoy. Thanks, Milos.